So hello everybody. It's time for us to catch up with some of the things that happened this past month in May. I'm very fortunate at the outset. I have my daughter who has come home from college visiting with me here in my office. So I told her it's time for me to make a movie star out of her. Not that she isn't already. So Angelique, a few things you might want to say?
I hope you guys enjoy the video that's in store for you.
All right. At other times, she's a lot more talkative than that, I can guarantee you. But for some reason, must be camera shy. You want to try again?
Yes, what am I supposed to say?
Okay, good enough. All right, so anyway, we'll get into the month now. So during the course of the past month, we had a very busy schedule. A bunch of different things we had going on. Everything from a meditation retreat that was well attended and quite successful, to a very high profile event that we had with Eboo Patel. Many of you will remember him as the moderator for our panel with the Dalai Lama. So we'll get right into some of that. Start off by telling a little bit about our meditation retreat. So for the past 3 years, right around the time of White Lotus Day, May 8th, we've been having this retreat. This year was no different. We had walking meditation that was led by Meredith Bosco out by the Labyrinth. We had Jim Bosco, who was also involved, who did basics of sitting. Andrew Vidic joined us. He was taking John Chianchosi's place, who was out of town visiting with a sick brother in Australia. He did meditation on gratitude and centering. Juliana Cesano was with us, and she did meditation on the heart. We also had Pablo Sender, who did a Taijasa or illumination meditation. I did a meditation on the bodies. And it was all a very, very enjoyable occasion with talks and then extended periods of sitting. I have been coming out to programs here at Wheaton at the National Center probably for almost going on about 40 years now. The program that we had with Eboo Patel was one that was really one of more of a civic nature with a spiritual undertone. He's very active, of course, in the Interfaith Youth Corps. So it was very good in that respect. The man is insightful into the history of some of the religious currents in the world. He's a sociologist by training, a Rhodes Scholar, graduate of Oxford, but also quite brilliant at times and definitely spiritual. He's someone who's very much in favor and a big promoter of the Theosophical Society's long-standing approach to interreligious understanding. But very interestingly, these sorts of programs that speak to current issues also attract sometimes a very different sort of interest. And so for this particular program, I'll show you a little bit about what happened with it, because for the very first time that I have ever been at a program, we had to actually usher somebody out. And it was done in a very, very definite way, but it was done in a way that was still respectful to the individual who had to go. So we'll show you a little bit about that. But it's just sort of a marker that in today's world, with all of the various things that are going on, there is nothing that actually speaks to an issue that can be deemed immune. And on May 16th, a long-awaited visit from Eboo Patel took place. He was talking about his most recent book, Sacred Ground, in which he speaks about the pluralistic religious nature of the United States. Quite a convincing sort of expression. And it was a very, very good talk. As I said, it had brilliance and spirituality all mixed in with it. Good attendance from many people from the community. Came out from a variety of religious faiths, Muslim, Baha'i, Christian, Jewish, all were in the audience. And as I said, these sorts of things not only tend to bring out the best, but can also bring out the worst. So I just wanted to share with you a short clip of what was a relatively extended incident with one of the people in the audience.
Excuse me, sir. You had your time with the question. Now it's time for somebody else. Your point's been made. Thank you very much.
I want to ask him about your message of love and peace.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
We have to have something for somebody else.
Yeah.
We have to allow
But,
time. If you'd be so kind,
Question.
we have other questions.
Torture everybody in this room who doesn't believe in Islam. That's the message of love and peace of Islam. You don't seem to understand.
So he had to be ushered out.
Yeah,
We'd ask you to respect the other people who are here.
but you're a sociologist who doesn't know anything.
And during the month of May, we also had a couple of children's related activities, as we seem to have every month with the Prairie School. I'm always quite impressed about the level of interaction and mutual benefit that goes on between the Prairie School of DuPage and the Theosophical Society in America here. Two things that took place. One was a papermaking workshop that was led by our own Danelis Valcarcel, which will show you some of that. And then we also had another concert. This one was a Memorial Day concert, which was organized and conducted quite well by our own Diana Kabigting. This month also we had a couple of programs with the children of the Prairie School. Danelis Valcarcel did a paper making workshop in which the kids got together and made their own paper using flower. So she had flower petals, roses, and marigolds. And of course the kids were very enthusiastic, very involved, and had no problem expressing themselves and following along with the entire program. It was something where they ended up using the papers. It was right before Mother's Day, so they made the paper and then dried it, and then they used it to make Mother's Day cards, which they sent to their mothers and also to various people who were mothers on staff here at the TSA. So just an example of some of the stuff that was going on. And also an example of some of the end products, which was banana leaf paper and then the flower paper. We also had the occasion to have another concert with Diana Kabigting leading the kids, the Prairie School players, in a Memorial Day concert. So something to memorialize those veterans who died in wars. So she recruited instrumentalists. David Bruce, who was a drummer who she brought out of mothballs. He hadn't played since 1979, formerly a professional drummer. And of course, Diana led the orchestra. Not just from the background, she also had to take a position playing. But with ever the watchful eye, she shepherded everyone through it. She also involved other staff members, our own Jim Bosco, chief of staff here, who is an excellent guitarist. I was playing flute again, and of course, David Bruce was our drummer for that day. So it was a beautiful day. The colors were brought out and the colors were brought in. And it was right before the school let out for the season. So toward the end of the month, they had their final day, and there were kisses and hugs for everyone. During the course of the month, we also had a couple of visitors from various degrees of out of town. One was our own Corey Bard, one of our former librarians, and another was from Hyderabad, India. This month's out of town visitors included our own Corey Bard, former librarian here at Olcott, now living in Ruidoso, New Mexico, and doing library work there. We also had a visit from Mr. Krishnafani Kisaraju and his wife, Dr. Sharada Kisaraju, who are with the Theosophical Society in Hyderabad, India. Then just a couple of things going on around the section. The Long Beach branch celebrated its 100th anniversary. On June 1st, they had a celebration out at the home of Robert and Leatrice Bonnell. So we congratulate them on that milestone. And then also wanted to show you some pictures of some publications that have been produced by the Vietnamese branch in California. They have been doing some translations of English works, theosophical books, into Vietnamese. So just going to show you a couple of pictures of some of the things, some of their work, and maybe give you a little information about how those of you who are Vietnamese speakers might be able to get in touch. And the Long Beach branch, of course, they sent out an invitation to their 100th anniversary in Long Beach, California. They've been around quite a while. This is a celebration. Boris Dezerkov, who was so instrumental in so much of what they did. And then the Vietnamese group in Garden Grove, California. If you want any information about how to get in contact, contact our National Secretary, David Bruce. And here at the National Center, we always have need for volunteers. And I think I told you in the last couple of years, last year and this year particularly, one of our volunteers in particular has been doing a lot of work with our grounds. Diane Hunter has really taken on the task of beautifying our grounds. And so she's been coming in with a crew, which she brings in, and has picked specific sorts of projects. Those of you who are going to be here for our summer convention will get to see some of the work that I'm going to be showing you here. And again, with the beginning of spring, Diane Hunter brought a crew of people out to work on the grounds here on a particular beautification project right near the entrance, our main entrance, which is actually in the rear of the building. They planted new shrubbery, flowering plants, put in a bench detail with flowers surrounding it. Really just worked throughout the day to create a really lovely little garden spot right by the back door. So those of you that are going to be here for our summer conference, you'll be sitting here and you'll get a chance to appreciate it. But already it's something that has taken effect and that our staff and visitors are already using to great advantage. The example being our own Christine Gianchosi. And finally, many of you who have been to this center or who have read the newsletter that we have sent out periodically over the years, The Messenger, will be familiar with the name Jeff Gresko. Jeff has been on staff here continuously for 26 years, although he worked more than that. He's worked in pretty much every department that there is. I've known Jeff during that entire time, and he's become such a part, really a fixture of our community. Anyway, in case you might be able to guess where I'm headed, Jeff is retiring. So at the end of August, he's going to be moving back to Asheville, North Carolina. And it's really something that is going to have a major effect on the work and the feeling here. Jeff, of course, assures me that it's always the case that somebody steps up and rises to the occasion. And I'm certain that that will be true. But in any event, Jeff will be missed. The presence that he has brought, the consistency, the willing to put his hand to and do whatever it is that's necessary to be done. Nobody has to ask Jeff. He sees it for himself and he figures out a way to get it done. So that sort of quality is what is going to be departing with him, but we're going to keep some of it. In any event, his son, Andrew, who was born, raised, and grew up here, just graduated from high school. So here's a little picture of father and son. So here you go. This is Jeff on the left, in case you had any questions, and Andrew on the right. And to close, a little bit of video footage taken right here on the grounds, actually just outside of not too far from our back door. Springtime here, and of course the birds are nesting and life is coming up anew. So here's a photo of some baby cardinals in the nest. Hope you like it. Look forward to seeing you again next month.
Ok, mira, ahora tócalo tú. Cuando yo apriete esto, tócalo para grabar lo que hacen, ¿ok? Tócale el nido, ¿ok? ¿O no? No lo hagas muy...
¿Ya?
Toca el nido si quieres.
Ahora. Cosas lindas. ¿Lo hiciste? No. Ahora. El otro ya se durmió.
They are sleeping. Hi, baby bird. Hi, Hi, baby birds. Wake up. Wake up, baby birds. Hi there.
No, ya se está durmiendo.
Well,